I started whispering during my lunch break at work because I realized I was talking too loudly on the phone call. I was confused and frustrated when the insurance company representative told me they had canceled my policy. I hadn't asked for it to be canceled. The woman on the phone was calm, but I was upset. She explained, "We received a request from you to cancel the policy, and it's done." I had a life insurance policy that was supposed to help me save money. My sister-in-law, Rachel, who works in insurance, had convinced me to get this policy, but it was more expensive than similar ones. My name is Stella. I'm 40 years old, and I live in an apartment with my husband and daughter. Today has been difficult from the start. This morning, my husband announced that he was going on a business trip. As he packed, our daughter Amy was upset because she couldn't find her math textbook. She's only in first grade, so I expected her to need help. But my husband started complaining about his missing travel bag and new socks, which made everything harder for me. I've been thinking about divorce for a while because our relationship has been rocky for the past year, and moments like this just add to my frustration. I couldn't help but say, "Why don't you both get ready the day before?" Amy apologized and promised to be more careful next time. I told her it was okay and that I should have helped her check yesterday, but my husband reacted differently. He said, "If you took care of everything, Amy wouldn't be in this situation, and if you had bought me new socks, I wouldn't be complaining." I was angry at his petty complaints. I had no idea he was going on a trip. I told him, "There are clean socks in the drawer. Isn't that good enough?" I like to wear brand new socks when I go on a business trip, but I think that's a bit odd. I didn't say anything, though. My husband goes on these overnight trips every few months, and I guess his company plans them ahead of time, but he never tells me about them. If he needed new socks, he could have bought them himself, or at least given me a heads up. Amy looked like she was about to cry and said, "Ma'am, Dad, stop arguing." I turned to her and said, "I'm sorry, Amy. It's okay. Let's find your textbook together." My husband went back to packing quietly while I helped Amy with her backpack. I noticed he was packing casual clothes instead of his usual work outfits, and I started to wonder if he was cheating on me again. He has cheated before twice. The first time was just before Amy was born, and I thought about getting a divorce then, but he begged me to stay. My mother-in-law and sister-in-law also asked me not to leave him. But then he cheated again last year with someone he met on a dating app. He's not good at hiding things. He thinks he is, but it's obvious to me. Whenever he gets caught, he cries and begs for forgiveness, looking pitiful while acting so arrogant normally. If he messes up again, we're done. I told him to fill out the divorce papers and transferred all our savings into my account. Even though I forgave him, all my love is gone. He always puts himself first, and it hurts me that he doesn't care about spending time with Amy. I plan to wait until she's older before I get a divorce. In the end, we found Amy's math textbook easily in her backpack, and she left for school happy, but I felt completely drained. I didn't have time to pack a lunch, so I went to a deli near my office during my break. While I was there, I saw a poster from an insurance company and remembered that my policy gives cash back after a certain time. I think the money should be deposited soon. I pay a lot each month for that policy, and I need little joys like this to keep going. I wondered what I'd do with the money when it arrives, maybe buy Amy some new fall clothes. I started to feel a bit excited and walked with a little more spring in my step. I went to the bank to update my passbook and discovered that not only had I received my cash bonus, but this month's insurance premium hadn't been deducted either. I found it strange because the premium should be taken out the same month I received the bonus. At first, I was confused, but remembering my husband's shady behavior earlier that day made me uneasy, so I decided to call the insurance company. Rachel, my sister-in-law, wasn't in that day, so another woman answered and told me my policy had been canceled. She said the cancellation fee was paid, but I didn't see any money in my account. The woman insisted everything was done correctly and that the insurance company followed the rules. She implied that it would be a big problem if my policy was cancelled without my permission. I made it clear that I never wanted to cancel my policy. I said I'd check with Rachel and my husband, and told her to confirm with Rachel before hanging up. I realized my lunch break was almost over, and I hadn't even eaten the food I bought from the deli. I didn't feel hungry anymore, because I was too focused on the situation. I asked my boss if I could leave early and finished up my work quickly. As soon as I left the office, I called my husband's cell phone. If he was really busy, I wouldn't be able to reach him. "Stella, why are you calling me? I'm at work," he said when he finally picked up, sounding annoyed. I could hear upbeat music playing in the background, which made me suspicious. "Sorry, but my life insurance was cancelled without my permission, and there's no cash value left. Do you know anything about this? I think I might have been scammed and might go to the police," I said. "What? The police? What are you talking about?" he asked, surprised. I had a feeling he and Rachel were involved, so I exaggerated my claims. My husband quickly confessed, which relieved me a little, but my anger started to rise. "Oh, really? Where's the cash value?" I demanded. "I used it to help my mom. She wanted to take a family trip to a resort," he replied. I was shocked. "You canceled my life insurance for a vacation. The business trip was a lie." "Yeah, I'm the beneficiary, so I don't see a problem with it. We're staying in a luxury hotel right now," he bragged, sounding proud. "What? I had a lot of complaints. Why did you cancel it without asking me? I'm the one paying for it. You should pay for your own travel expenses." "Oh, come on. If something happens to you, I'm the one who gets the money. You're healthy and not going to die anytime soon. Just get another policy later." I couldn't understand my husband's reasoning at all. The insurance premiums go up as you get older, and he didn't seem to care. "Do your parents and Rachel know you canceled my life insurance without my permission? Didn't my father-in-law say anything?" "Rachel is obviously in on this. You and Rachel forged my signature, didn't you?" My mom and dad were happy about the family trip and thought it was a good idea. They said since I was the one managing our money, it was my responsibility. "I want to have some fun and take a break sometimes. It's okay, right? Everyone is happy on this trip." But I thought, the family you're talking about is just your parents and Rachel. What about Amy and me? Aren't we family too? Insurance is meant for emergencies, and I'd rather not use it at all. Shouldn't you have talked to me first if you wanted to help with travel costs? You would say no for sure. You and Amy are always together, so it's okay to spend time with my family instead. Besides, Rachel said she wanted to take out a new life insurance policy for you, so I thought it would be a win-win, he replied. "That's just for you guys." "Ah, unbelievable. You don't want to admit you did something wrong because it's embarrassing. Are you not ashamed of acting like a child? Stop getting angry like this. You're making it hard to talk. If you keep fighting, I wouldn't mind getting a divorce." I could tell my husband felt more confident being in a tourist spot. He sounded different than usual. I hung up the phone, thinking, get ready. I'm going to get back at my in-laws and my husband for all of this. I was done being patient. My husband underestimated me because I had always forgiven him. Even when he threatened divorce, I thought my in-laws were decent people and that Rachel wasn't bad. But no normal person would cancel their daughter-in-law's life insurance and misuse the money. This is what I get for marrying into this family. I decided to cut them all off. I quickly went to the courthouse. I always kept the divorce papers my husband had filled out in my bag like a lucky charm. I submitted the divorce papers right away. Then I picked up my daughter, Amy, from her after-school program. On the way home, I told her about the divorce. "Amy, we're getting divorced," I said. She was surprised, but after I explained it carefully, she accepted it. When we got home, Amy asked, "So Dad isn't coming back home anymore?" "Your dad won't be back tonight because he's on a business trip. We're getting divorced, so we'll live separately, but we still need to prepare for that," I explained. "Let's start packing right away. Hurry," she said. "Wait, what's going on? You're okay with this?" I asked, confused. "You don't have to cry anymore. I don't like him because he's always mad." Did you try to stop us from fighting because you didn't want me to be sad? I realized that I had planned not to divorce for Amy's sake, but she had been putting up with everything for a long time. Amy said, Dad never plays with me, even on his days off. He tells me to go away when I talk to him. He only uses me to say mean things to you. Like this morning, I've always been sad because I love you, Ma'am. Amy smiled a little, and her smile touched my heart. My husband, who was selfish and only cared about himself, had been seen through by both me and Amy. It hurt to learn about Amy's true feelings, and I almost cried. I'm so sorry, Amy. I didn't mean to put you through this. From now on, it would just be the two of us, but I promise I'll take good care of you. I really love you. She replied, smiling. I promised myself never to let Amy feel sad again. While Amy did her homework, I kept busy by contacting a lawyer and searching for realtors and movers online. Then I called my parents to explain what happened. They told me to come back home right away. Amy doesn't have to change schools. If you come tomorrow morning, I can borrow a truck from a friend and help you move your things, my dad said. I called the landlord and the elementary school to let them know we'd be commuting from my parents' house now. I planned to handle the school paperwork later. I also called work to take a vacation day tomorrow because I wanted to get everything done before my husband came home. The next day, my parents came over and we quickly moved our stuff to their house. We finished everything before my husband returned, leaving only his things in the apartment. I left a note that said we were divorced and now strangers. When my husband came home and saw we were gone, he would be shocked. That thought made me feel victorious. I was able to prepare for the divorce so easily this time, because I had researched the necessary steps after he cheated on me before. I had warned him that next time, there would be no discussion. We would divorce, and we had agreed I would keep custody of our daughter and no shared assets. This way, my daughter and I began our new life at my parents' house. A few days later, I got a frantic call from my mother-in-law. Since my husband's phone was blocked, I guessed she called me on his behalf. He's a weak man who cries easily, even though he acts tough. What are you thinking? You're divorcing him even though my son didn't cheat, she yelled, making my ears ring. I instinctively moved my phone away. Hey, Stella, it's not too late. Apologize to my son right now. He's been crying because he's hurt. Aren't you embarrassed making such a fuss over this? Apologize? Why should I? I didn't understand her words and blurted out. Who are you? She was probably surprised by my response and stopped talking for a moment. I was shocked by what I had just said. Hey, it's me, your mother-in-law. Come on, Stella, what's gotten into you? You can't be going senile. You're still young. No, I only have one mother. If you don't identify yourself, is this a scam call? I decided to go along with my slip of the tongue. After all, we were strangers now that we were divorced, and there was no point in having a serious conversation with someone who unilaterally canceled a life insurance policy. Don't be ridiculous, Stella. If you're going to act like that, I have a few things to say too. As expected, my mother-in-law was furious, but I didn't care. What are you talking about? Do you think you can do something? I had an agreement with him that if there was any problem, we would divorce right away. He told me on the phone that we were getting divorced. My words left her speechless, so I kept going. If he wanted to go on a trip, he should have talked to me about it. Why did he have to do something wrong? Is your whole family trying to end up in jail? Canceling a life insurance policy without my permission is basically forgery. That can lead to 3 months to 5 years in prison. So I'm ready to fight this. I didn't want to hear about how his family was poor or didn't have money. My husband might have done this carelessly, but that's exactly why I can't forgive him. What? We can't have criminals in this family. Please, listen to me, my mother-in-law said. But I could tell she was shocked by the mention of prison. Just a moment ago, she was angry, but now she sounded submissive. It was too late. Lo, I hung up and blocked all calls from my husband's family. After that, my husband was so shocked by the divorce that he quit his job and became a recluse. As for the life insurance issue, We use this system called financial ADR, which helps settle insurance disputes outside of court. We successfully resolved the issue, and my sister-in-law, Rachel, got in trouble and was fired from her insurance company. It even made some minor headlines. My in-laws became the talk of the town and were shamed by relatives, being told they had no common sense and should be embarrassed. It seems they felt very uncomfortable. Both my husband and Rachel couldn't find work and were struggling financially. Meanwhile, I was living freely with my daughter Amy at my parents' house. I wanted to make up for the hardships I put her through by giving her lots of love.